Starting businesses are essentially not easy, but they can be exceptionally rewarding if they get done the right way. Take this from someone who has founded several businesses. Today, I want to share with you steps on how to start a thriving business from scratch. Let's get right into it. Hi guys, I'm Olushola and I share practicable wisdom. I want to first of all start by saying that if it's your very first time of watching me or listening to any of my podcasts, you have been missing out on a whole lot. Well, I forgive you. So you're on the right place at the right time. But this is a good time to ask you to kindly click on the subscribe button. I'll wait. Kindly do that. All right. Yes. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get right into it. You see, even though the demographic and regulatory factors of doing business from city to city, state to state, or country to country might vary, there are, however, some underlying principles that happen to work everywhere. So today, I know that I'm being viewed by people from different walks of life and from different continents. So I want to quickly share with you principles that will help you build a business from scratch. And these principles will work in any given part of the world. And while doing so, I will highlight the generic challenges, but also the generic solutions and opportunities that will work pretty much on a global scale. If you're looking to start a new business, this is the right way to go about it. Here's the very first step you should be taking. Number one, market research. I need to first of all start by saying that the quality of research you put into anything will determine the quality of the output. What you put in is what you get out, and even in business. So you need to first of all start every single financial endeavor by doing given level of quality research. You need to research. You need to first of all start by identifying market demand and target customers' preferences. Now, this is very crucial because a lot of people make a very serious mistake. Instead of first and foremost identifying a market and looking for a product that fits that market, we tend to do the things the other way around. We tend to find a product and then look for a market for it. But that will be very funny because it's like putting the cart before the horse. You need to first of all have a group of people who have a need and then ensure that all of the efforts you are making is to providing a product that can satisfy or fulfill that particular need. That's how to grow a business. You're going to need to have a given level of research. Am I going to be the first person to come up with this particular type of solution? Or if not, how can I analyze my competitors and have a unique value proposition, something that is different, a unique selling point that people popularly call USP, a unique selling point that is different for theirs? What will make me stand out? Because if you do not stand out, you will be put together with the crowd, and until you learn to stand out or have a unique value proposition, you will not be as profitable as you really ought to. So market research is extremely important. What kind of market am I really playing into? Am I going to have a blue ocean strategy? You're going to have to look out for trends and insights. And that's why data has to be your best friend. It is impossible for you to fully conduct a reasonable market research without data. What data is obtainable? What has worked in this terrain? And it also depends on the kind of country that you're trying to build the business in. So for example, if you are building in Africa, for example, there are major parts of sub-Saharan Africa where, renewable energy, agriculture, tech startups are really what will carry the day. Data helps you. What is working? What has worked? What will work? One thing data does for you is that it not only helps encapsulate the events of the past, but it can also help you foretell the glory of the future. We can predict future events by looking at historical antecedents. Research helps you with that. Lets you be in a country that does not permit a particular kind of thing and then choose to establish a business there. So research helps you avoid making some very incredible mistakes. And this leads me to step 2. You need to write a business plan. Until it is written, no one will take you serious. Scratch that. Until it is written, do not take yourself serious. You see, one thing that a business plan helps you do is that it helps you itemize and identify your clear plan, action, and strategies on paper. This is very important, and it helps you put some things that set it in motion. So you need to write a business plan. After conducting your market research, it's now time to flesh out exactly how you got planned to go about it. So based off all the research that I have done, what exactly or how exactly do I plan to pursue this part that I want to go on? So This is going to help you. So you need to have a business plan. And also, your business plan is what you will then show your prospective investors. Yes, your prospective investors. People are used to hearing beautiful plans. People are used to hearing the aspirations of several people. But truth is, if wishes were horses, beggars will ride. So people are tired of just hearing things. They want to see well-detailed, itemized plans that will help, take your vision from a dream to a reality. So that's one thing that your business plan will help you do. Your business plan will also serve as a deck, like a pitch to prospective investors. A proper business plan should entail a number of things, like an executive summary, which will pretty much detail or summarize exactly what the business plan is all about. Then things like your market analysis and your financial planning. How exactly do you plan to ensure profitability? Because the primary goal of every business is to ensure that you make money out of it. It's not a non-governmental organization or some charity organization where you're okay with just impact, quote and unquote, in and of itself, right? But as long as it's a business, you've got to have to show your workings. How do we plan to make money? So a business plan is supposed to help you. What's the supply chain going to look like? How are we going to take it from point A to point Z? In the smoothest way possible. So there are several templates that will help you. You could just even start by going on Google, how to write a proper business plan. Several YouTube videos will help you. I probably will do one maybe at some point later. But yes, that's it. And this is to the third point. You have to have a marketing strategy. This is important because you could put this point before the previous point, or put the previous point before this point. A marketing strategy must obviously, to a given extent, be mentioned in your business plan, right? But here I want to go into a little bit more details, right? Your marketing strategy is a whole lot more detailed than what will even show on the business plan. Your marketing strategy is how you plan, just like it connotes, to get your goods to the market. How do you plan to be in the faces of people? Or scratch that, how do you plan to take your products to your target audience? That is what the marketing strategy is all about. So your proper marketing strategy should show things like your public relation, ideas, and your advertising strategies, and exactly how you plan to make people know exactly what you're selling. How do you want to go about it? Are you planning to advertise through majorly traditional media or digital media? If so, how do you want to go about it? And this also depends, and it varies from business to business. So for example, if maybe you are marketing a fast-moving consumer good, understand that the market segmentation of fast-moving consumer goods already posits that you need to do some large-scale marketing. A fast-moving consumer good is definitely a good that is very cheap, right? And therefore the market segmentation has to be that where a lot of people will have to buy. So you're going to have to employ both traditional media methods and also digital ones. For traditional media, some billboards are going to have to be erected in your name. So the marketing strategy has to detail how you plan to spend the money. What will it be spent on? What kind of market will you be spending with? If you're going to be using digital media, how much are you going to spend on social media ads? And with what kind of influencers will you be pushing this particular narrative? What PR firms would you be partnering with? These are essential. You need to have a core marketing strategy. There are several things you have to consider. What's my product like? What's the price like, right? Competitively, do my prices stand out? Okay, if your prices are the same with that of your other customers, then you're going to need to project your unique selling point. If your prices are cheaper, then you're going to have to emphasize the prices, which will mean that what they stand to gain rather will be reduced prices that will in the end give them much more value than that of your competitors. So a marketing strategy, an effective one, helps to project and amplify your strongest points as against that of your competitor. And the fourth step you have to take is funding. You need to get funding. It is impossible for you to do anything in the business world without funding. All of your ideas are only going to remain ideas, and all of your goals and aspirations will only remain goals and aspirations without the required funding or capital to fund these very ideas. So funding is very important. So how are you going to get money? The moment your marketing strategy and your business plan and your market research is in place, the next thing you're going to need is money. So how are you going to get money? Now, naturally, there are three major things people talk about a lot. It's the 3 F's, friends, families, and fools. So it depends on the size of the funding needed, right? If it's something that is beyond the reach of your family and friends, right, I would advise that you begin to work on pitch decks and you begin to send pitch decks to people who can. However, one thing I can tell you is I'm going to do a separate video on how to attract investors and how to make them, invest in your stuff. But what I can tell you is investors always look at track record. People invest not just for one thing. They don't just invest for financial purposes or in the beauty of your proposal, but also character. They check your track record. Who are you? How are you with money? This is extremely important. So you might also have to be someone that you might want to be somebody that is very formidable character-wise to attract the right kind of people. Another way you can also get funding could also be through access to grants and maybe direct loans from bank, depending on how credit worthy you are. I don't really know, but just try and look at what works for you, and also depending on the budget you're trying to get. Yeah, and I also want to say that another way you can also bridge the gap on funding will be that you should be open to partnerships. You might have to build partnerships with your creditors. Go through your supply chain. How am I supposed to get the products that I'm supposed to sell? How about you build some partnerships? So instead of having to build some form of inventory, maybe you sell some very huge stock kind of product. Instead of having to tie down about 50,000 pounds on a particular good, right? It could be good if you could strike a lovely deal with your suppliers instead and say, you know what, I won't pay you before I sell, right? I'll sell off, then I'll pay you after selling. That way you could be doing yourself a huge favor and removing all of the kind of funds that you'd have tied down. And this also helps you, focus more on just getting the right customers, and that way the burden of inventory is taken away from you. And the fifth thing I want to say is pick a solid business location. You'd be naive to think that every single business idea will thrive in any location. No. In fact, some business ideas are location specific and location sensitive. A good example, imagine you say you want to start selling winter jackets in Sahara Desert. Now you see what I'm talking about, right? So time and again, I always like to tell people, be very particular about where you want to sell. Is this business going to be one that you have to be positioned in a particular locality for it to thrive? If so, ensure you position yourself properly. For example, there's a reason why the who is who in the financial markets always gravitate towards the financial district of the lower Manhattan region of New York City in the United States of America, because that's where Wall Street is. So I cannot emphasize this enough. You have to pick the right location for your market to thrive. Also, if you are selling a particular kind of good, try and look for the commercial hub of that city to pitch your tent in, because many times your location could be about 60%, 70% of the entire success of the business. It could contribute as much as that to that. So it's very important. So while doing that, you need to also evaluate things like visibility and where your competitors are. I always put it this way. If your competitors are in a particular place, it could mean that that's where the thing is bubbling, right? However, I'd always say you need to take a balanced approach. Don't stay too far from your competitors, and maybe do not necessarily be too close to where they are. So depending on the kind of business that you're structuring, always ensure that you look at what works best, right? Also with some form of research. And now for those of you who want to sell online predominantly, I haven't forgotten you, my online business folks. You can also pitch your tent strategically online, okay? You could pitch with an e-commerce company. You could pitch even through Google. You could find the best way through search engine optimization to position yourself for greater impact, which will in turn lead to overall profitability. And this leads me to the 6th point. You need to decide on the business structure and register that business. You need to decide on it. What kind of business structure are you trying to build? Is it going to be a partnership? What's it going to be like? Is it going to be sole proprietorship? Is it going to be an LLC? What is it going to look like? And another thing I also want to tell you is never be too much in a hurry to establish partnerships. So 2 years, 3 years down the line, you will not become bitter towards the partner, because you would then realize that you never should have got into that partnership in the very first place. So when it comes to partnerships, always ensure that something has to necessitate the partnership. Don't partner with people just because you like them. Partner with them because they are bringing something unique to the table when it comes to the governance or the entire flow of the business. This is very crucial, because I've seen cases where, about years ago, I think 6-7 years ago, someone literally told me that, and I think it changed my life. The person said, look, you're trying to start something. Don't just jump into partnerships with people and do a 50-50 split or a 30 30-70 split, just like that. Let the person have a unique proposition. Yeah, 2 heads are better than none, but it has to be 2 solid heads better than one. If not, 1 sound head is better than 100 foolish heads put together. So this is very crucial. You need to ensure that there is something the person is bringing that you don't already have. Scratch that also. I take it up a notch. May also ensure that there is something the person is bringing that you might not really be able to employ at the moment. This is important because sometimes the person might have a unique skill that you probably will be able to get someone else to do and pay minimal funds for. But also, if you're cash strapped, another good way you can maximize little funds will now be those partnerships. Okay, now I can partner with somebody who will work with me for a number of years before the person exits, or rather will partner with me all through the length of the journey because the person is bringing something unique that I cannot afford to pay for outside. Now that's a partnership that will be worthwhile, a partnership with no regrets. Then also ensure that you itemize and clearly and contractually state the terms of the partnership to avoid any form of ruckus or any issues or problems that could arise in the future. Yeah, and this also leads me to the fact that you need to register the business. No matter how beautiful the name sounds, until it is registered with the laws of that particular land, it is null and void. So register your business, register it, and also acclimatize yourself with the laws of that particular land. This will help you do business on a smooth sailing, because no matter how profitable your business is, if the laws of land do not permit exactly what you're doing, then you could be out of business in no time, right? So ensure you acclimatize yourself with the demands. Are we going to be paying taxes? How much taxes are we going to be paying? How do we get concessions from the government on taxes at a particular point in time? All of these things and more. So already you understand that if it's a sole proprietorship or a small business, your taxes will be relatively low compared to that of companies and everything. So acclimatize yourself. Go for knowledge. Less, you will be bullied around. And ideally, another thing I'll also tell you is I'd like you to speak with a business lawyer for some sense of consult. And the next thing I want to say is pick a business name and open a proper business account. Yes, I know registering your business already covers this, but pick a business name. Ideally, I would say that picking a business name is not as important as what the business really is about. But these days, it will be very good to pick a business name that is on brand, right? Something that people will not really necessarily have to ask too many questions before they, can tell. So a good example, look at Tasty Fried Chicken, right? KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. People can already tell. Walmart, Mart is already behind it. So people can already tell, exactly what it's pretty much about. So I would advise that, but there could be some cases where that might not be the case, which then will also have to lead to you doing some exceptional branding to ensure that you work on that. Then also, open a business account. Yes, I know the kind of business account you want to open and whom you want to create it with and all. So yeah, I think those are very simple points. The name usually for many business owners comes long before all of these old strategies and everything. For example, for me, before I start a new business, for something one way or another, I always already know what the name will be like before I even begin to put pen to paper on the strategies and the plans on how to execute. And this leads me to the final point. Launch your business. Look, it will not matter all the plans that you are making about when to start out, how to go about it, who to connect with. If you do not start, you will never, ever see to it that there's a major breakthrough. Let me also say something. Never wait for all the pieces to fall together. Never wait for everything to be perfect. Never wait for all the stars to align before you kick off your business. Start from exactly where you are and ensure that you keep on failing forward. Set a competitive price. Launch out. Let everyone know. Scream it from the rooftops and let everyone know that you're already doing a particular kind of thing. Be your biggest and your first influencer for your brand. Be the first person talking about it before any other person does. Start out. And one thing I always like to tell people to do is incrementally innovate. Stop waiting to break free or do something exceptional out of the blues. Day by day, week by week, month by month, try to look out for things that you can improve upon in this already or newly launched business. And finally, one thing I would say to you, new business owner, is simple. Challenges will always come. It's a part and parcel of every single thing that we do. What exactly is an entrepreneur without challenges? Okay, but one thing I can tell you for certain is this: the challenges will come, but if you are committed to learning and adaptation, you will definitely see to it that these challenges are duly surmounted in no time. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. this has been a very good time. I hope I've been able to show you in a very simple way possible on how to launch out, a new business, how to start a business from scratch. In subsequent videos, I might be talking about how to surmount these challenges and, other things that will help you on your journey of growth. But till then, thank you so much. And it's a very good time for me to implore you to kindly subscribe to my channel if you still haven't, and also like this video to ensure that other people get to see it. Thank you so much. My name is Olushola. It's been my time, and it's been so good talking to you. Ireo.